What the hell just happened? That is exactly the first thing that came to my mind when I saw Haiden Deegan laying on the ground and Joe Shimoda getting up and passing him and checking out for the race win. What just happened? That is what the initial gut, holy crap, what is going on? And we're going to get into it. We're going to deep dive into it on the podcast, but we got to do a good day, bad day. And I'm at a loss for words. I'm recording this on Monday, and I tried to give it time. I tried to marinate in it. I tried to kind of give myself a little bit of a pause of what the heck is going on in what we just saw. And it's unreal, that race. And I applaud the dramatics. I applaud the excitement and everything that came to it. But of course, Good Day, Bad Day is brought to you by Yoshimura. Don't forget, go get some products made here in Southern California. Dirt bike exhaust, street bike exhaust, mountain bike parts, kind of you name it. Go and check it out right now. So, it's almost hard for me to make this video. It really is. Because I really thought US had a great chance of winning the nations in a couple weeks. And not as soon as Deegan went to the ground and then Sexton going to the ground, that immediately eliminated those chances. We'll get to that. That is more of a podcast thing. I'm really flabbergasted of what just happened this weekend. But as always, we get into good day, bad day. Who had a good day? Who had a bad day? Obviously in 250s, Joe Shimoda had a great day. The dude won the championship, fought through adversity, fought through everything you could possibly think of all weekend long. It was amazing to see the mental fortitude that guy has and to be able to see the riding that he was able to display. I mean, the guy late in the race was starting to double a section after the finish line that I think maybe Deegan did once and Jet did, and that was it. And he didn't need to do that. Hammaker also had a good day, and he checked out, got the race win. And Joe Shimoda being able to do what he did was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best rides we've seen in a long time. And a guy that uses Yoshimura exhaust, mind you, it's just one of those things where it's like, what the heck are we watching? You know what I mean? Is I've said it for the longest time. Joe is the only one that really seems like he can go toe to toe with Haiden on riding. It seems like everybody else either crumbles or they get too into the mental gymnastics of what dealing with Haiden is. And I love it. I'm here for it. I love what Haiden does and how he does it. I have no issues with it. But Joe is definitely the one that for the longest time, you saw it in outdoors, you saw it in Supercross before he got hurt. He was able to handle Haiden. And it's really amazing to see, and I'm happy for him. Dude just won a whole bunch of money. His family was so excited. I'm so excited for Ben. Ben, his mechanic, is one of the best dudes ever, and I'm excited for him to get that. And I'm just saying, Ben and Joe, I might be a good luck charm. Okay, when I was at Washougal, it was been a while since we got some race wins, and you nailed that one pretty good. And then I show up to Vegas, and you win a championship. I'm just saying, I might be a really good luck charm for you. Keep that in mind for next year. But it was just an absolutely incredible ride. For him to be able to do what he did, it's just absolutely such a great day. All right. Now, who had a bad day? Two people. Levi Kitchen did not have a good day. He once again kind of just, I don't know, he's not performing near to the level that he should be. And he had a mechanical and all that stuff. I don't know where he goes forward. I don't know how he fits in to next year's hierarchy, I guess I would say, with the riders and everything. But he didn't have the best day ever. But obviously you have to put Haiden as having a bad day. That dude, I think out of all the people I think out of even in the 450s, Haiden had the worst day out of all of them, right? I think if you look back, and I will deep dive into this on the podcast, but I think if he looks back at it, he probably wishes he didn't ride the way that he did. I don't blame him for trying. The only thing, though, is I feel like somebody should have been in his corner saying, hey, try it a couple times. If it doesn't work, then you need to check out and you just go win the race. Because the AMA was just going to penalize him anyways. And so I don't know, maybe just having the 5-point rule, because they essentially said the second infraction or whatever you want to call it is going to just equate to 5-point like penalty. So maybe he's like, it's worth it. I'm only going to get 5 points if he gets out of the race. But I don't think that he wanted a race like that. I think he was trying, and I don't fault him at all for wanting to do that, because I think he comes from a cloth of when you're competition, you and I kind of teach my kids this, is you want to step on their neck and like take the breath out of them. Like when it comes to competition, we're here to win. I really don't think he wanted to hurt Joe. I just think he wanted to knock him down and get him back a little bit. And if he did mean to hurt Joe, that's not cool. Like, I don't care. Dirt bikes are dangerous enough as it is. You don't need to go around hurting somebody. But I don't think that that's what it was. And so everybody that's saying that, no, he was not trying to hurt him, in my opinion. I don't think. So, but what really sucks, and who had the worst day out of everybody, is us American fans. We don't know what's going to happen with Team USA. If it's going to be Jay Coop on a 250 and RJ on a 450, that's most likely what's going to happen. But we had a very good chance of winning nations that we haven't won since Tomac and Sexton. And I think Jay Coop was on the team. Australia is in the lead on this one, right? They have Jet and Hunter. And then you have, I can't remember who's going to be riding the 250s, but it's just absolutely wild to me that in one night, Haiden Deegan snapped his collarbone, and I think he's getting it plated today, or they're getting it looked at today, or they're getting it evaluated and stuff like that. I know that there's things out there that said that he's out for nations, but if it is just a collarbone, I mean, I've had both of my collarbones done. I don't want to speak for him because every injury is different and the severity levels and everything are different. So his could be way different, but you can ride. You can. Now, I don't know if the team's going to want him to, because they're investing millions and millions of dollars into the future for him. So I kind of understand, like, hey, maybe we don't, whatever it is. But I've talked to somebody in the Deegan camp, and they're not ruling it out. They have not 100% ruled it out, and they still want to. He really wanted to represent USA, and he wasn't able to. Or he might not be able to, I should say. So it's kind of wild. It is the whole situation. I think if he could redo it again, I don't think that he would play it out the exact same way. I think it would be a lot different. But it is what it is at this point. We have to move on. And like I said, I will do a full deep dive with my brother on the podcast this week and really get into it and discuss it more. So who had a good day? Joe Shimoda. Who had a bad day? Haiden Deegan. That's no other way about it. It is just how it is in the 250 class. But it was entertaining. And that's what we wanted. When you look at the 450 class, there wasn't really much entertainment. Everybody was looking forward to the 250 race, and both championships were on the line. So it wasn't like the 450 was already wrapped up. There was still championship scenarios on the 450s too. So it was just high intensity, high drama, all that stuff. It was pretty cool to kind of be part of. But all right, so on the 450s, who had a good day? Obviously, Jet Lawrence had a great day. That dude is a freak of nature to watch ride in person. I can't explain to you. If you haven't seen him ride in person, I highly suggest going to your local race, whether it's Supercross, motocross, whatever it is. Go watch him, and go during practice and literally watch him the entire time. And just there was multiple times where I should have been using my camera, but I'm just watching him ride. And it's an art form to see him, and Hunter too. Hunter's able to do it too. But Jet is just an absolute freak of nature. And it's so cool to see. And I'm so happy he's part of this sport. And I really hope he stays for a long time. I hope he doesn't get bored and checks out and goes, all right, early retirement. It is pretty cool to see what he's able to do. So Jet absolutely had such a great day. The dude won $1 million plus because of all the other win bonuses and everything that he gets. I mean, he was having fun. It seemed like he was kind of his old self again, which is really good, which I think Haiden has always been the face of our sport because he shows him and he's to such a broad audience. I think Jet could be bigger and have a bigger audience. I just think that he kind of went into a shell a little bit, and it seems like he's starting to kind of come back out of it a little bit, which I really, really, really want him to. I think it's amazing to see, and he's such a funny dude. And when you see him outside of cameras and all that stuff, he's just funny, and it's cool. So yeah, so be able to see him do that is absolutely incredible. And then who had a bad day? Dude, I felt so bad. And I wouldn't even necessarily say I guess it is a bad day because he lost $1 million and he lost to his brother again, is Hunter Lawrence. When those guys came in to behind the podium, it didn't seem like anybody at Honda was happy. Like it seemed like everybody was very somber. Everybody was quiet. Jet came in, didn't even seem like he just won $1 million. Didn't even seem like he just won because he just beat his brother. And he probably made his brother feel pretty bad. And it's just kind of wild to me to see that you have these guys performing at such a high level, but care that much. You know what I mean? Like you have these people that are competitors, but at the end of the day, they're a family. And they love each other. And it was one of the most surreal experiences to see was that. And then how quiet the gate was right before the 250 second moto. It was very surreal and very different and very interesting, but it was still cool to see. So yeah, Hunter Lawrence, I felt super bad for him. He didn't have a great day because he just lost all that. And, he's got to figure it out. I talked to Dazzy a little bit about, what Hunter can do. And they're trying, and Jet even, he could easily not offer any help and say, you got to figure it out on your own. But Jet continues to help him. Everybody at Honda is putting all the resources behind him to try and get him over that hump. And if it wasn't for Jet, he would be the best rider in our sport. Like, think about it. Hunter Lawrence is flat out amazing. So it's interesting to see what kind of comes from that. And then who also had a bad day, and I reached out to somebody in his camp, is Chase Sexton. And he's okay. I haven't gotten word on anything Nations related, but that seems to be out, in my opinion. So to lose Deegan and Sexton, it's like, oh my gosh, man. It was wind came out of my sails of just like all that American pride that I was going to have, like just to mess with other guys, right? Like we just had a Japanese rider win the 250 title and then a Australian rider win the 450 title. But what is kind of cool is those dudes are very American, and you don't really see it a lot, but they love America and they represent a lot of core values that we as Americans have. And so it's pretty cool to see that. But it was going to be kind of nice. It was going to be able to give some of my Australian fans, a hard time, like if America was able to pull it out. And they still could. Dirt bikes are gnarly. Dirt bikes are crazy. It's at a track here. But I would have rather seen our full A team go. And I mean, I don't know. I'll still support Team America. And I immediately went to Team America World Police quote in my head. But I'm going to support the team and be behind them 100% no matter what. But I would have liked to see them do that. And we'll see what happens with the announcement and all that kind of stuff. But with Chase going down, he's okay. He's recovering. Nothing, as far as I know, is broken. I think maybe he jacked up some stuff in his shoulder or he just hurt it really bad, bruised it really bad. But if you haven't seen the crash that Chase Sexton had, go look it up. The only time I ever saw it was from a page that takes everybody's stuff and just reposts it as their own and doesn't credit anything. So I'm not going to name the page, but you could go out there and you could find it on Instagram and all different socials. And he crashed so hard, and he got basically taken to the Alpine Stars medical unit, whatever it is, and got checked out. But when I saw him on a flat board in the cart, I was like, oh, this isn't good. That's not good whenever that happens. But I was told is he definitely tried to get up and he tried to walk it off and he tried to refuse it. But they just said, dude, it doesn't matter. Let's just, get you there and make sure everything's okay. And so he knocked his head really hard, got a bad concussion, which really just messes you up. But Chase did not have a great day. And I feel so bad for those guys just because they, especially Chase, right? Like if that is the end to his KTM career, which it is going to be his last race on a KTM, or it's going to be his last Supercross SMX race on a KTM. It's crazy to me what is happening. So I feel bad for him, and it's hard not to. I guess like when I report on this stuff, I should just report on it, but that's not who I am. I'm a moto fan. I'm a fan of moto. And I know some of these guys, and so they're humans and, they have emotions just like we do. So yeah, it really sucks to see that. Chase Sexton had a bad day. Hunter had a bad day. And I mean, really realistically, I don't know if I'd put anybody else as having a bad day. Those guys really kind of had some unfortunate circumstances happen. So you guys sound off in the comments. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you wanted to see something else, if you thought Ken Roxon had a great day over somebody else, whatever. It's an open forum. It's a discussion. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you want to talk about next time, because I don't know the next time I'm going to record one of these, because we don't have any more races coming up until Nations. Maybe I'll do them when we have some off rounds and stuff like that. But I've really enjoyed it. This is a new series that I kind of established this year, and I continue to plan on doing it again next year. And I really had a good time. And it seems like you guys really enjoyed it too. So yeah, sound off in the comments. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends about it. Tell people if you like this stuff. Share it. Share it with some of your friends. I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And maybe see you next year.